Woo, y'all done let the wrong dude get in partnership with Play the Boombox. If you don't know who I am, it's your boy Mike Bundy from the Don't Piss Me Off podcast, from the Hard to Swallow podcast, and I know I'll be pissing a lot of y'all off. And what y'all done fucked around and did is y'all let me get in partnership with my homegirl Kelly and Play the Boombox. Every Tuesday, I'm going to be dropping these videos. What we doing on this segment, we calling this Fact or False. Basically, all I'm doing, I'm just giving it to you from my eyes how I feel about the music game. Different topics of the music game, whether we talking about the top rappers, the top R&B albums, the top rap albums, it don't matter. I'm giving it to you from my eyes how I feel. Like I said, this is all subjective. It ain't no right or wrong answers, but I know a lot of y'all like to argue with me, especially on Facebook, about these things. So why not give it to you in a video form? Subscribe to the channel. Come back every Tuesday because I'm going to be talking my shit and it's going down. So without further ado, I know you've already seen the title. We talking about that boy Drizzy Drake, man. And we already know Drizzy Drake is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. Ain't no denying that. No matter how you try to pick apart his career, he is definitely one of the greats. The longevity is there and the boy's still dropping shit, so we cannot deny that. But as with any great artist, that does not mean that all the material is flawless. We know that. So without further ado, we're going to get into these Drake albums. Before I do that though, let me go and say this here. I'm not including no mixtapes. I'm not including no joint albums or no EPs, none of that. So let me go and mention these before we get to this list. So Far Gone, What a Time to Be Alive for Future, the Scary Hour series, Dark Lane demo tapes, the Care package, all great bodies of work, but I'm not including that in these albums or this list before y'all get to talking shit. I wanted to make that clear. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this a little different though. Instead of me starting from the bottom and working my way up to the top, in other words, instead of me starting from his least and giving y'all his greatest, I'm gonna start with the greatest and I'm gonna give y'all the least. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is how I feel. So before y'all be trying to come challenge me and want to argue with me and want to threaten me and all that, hey man, you can feel how you want to feel and I'm gonna feel how I want to feel, but that's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start with the number one Drake album of all time, Take Care. Now I feel like Take Care is his greatest body of work. Because I feel like it was well put together. I feel like he took his time with this album. And his album literally has no skips. And just like any other album with no skips that we deem classics, you know, the no skip thing is cool, but it's about the replay value. This album, to this day, still has the same effect of when it came out back in 2010, 2011, whichever year that was. There's a lot of replay value on this album, and it is definitely a certified classic from that boy Drizzy. Number two, Nothing Was the Same. I chose this at number two because I feel the same way that I feel about Take Care with this album. I feel like the production on this album was a little better. Drake was in his prime on this album. Drake was on fire, man. And the replay value on this is also the same as the replay value on the Take Care album. Number three, if you're reading this is too late. And the reason I chose this at number three is because the boy dropped this shit out of nowhere, dog. Nobody knew this album was coming other than the people that was in this camp. He dropped this shit out of nowhere, but when he dropped it, man, he dropped it so hard, no homo, that it just, I was shocked. Like, to say he had no singles, no promotion leading up to his particular album, and when it dropped, it was just, I'm not gonna say it was perfect, but it was perfect, if that makes sense. In the sense of nobody knew the shit was coming, you know what I'm saying? Pause. Number four, Thank Me Later, which was his come out studio album. We already knew who he was and what he was capable of coming off the success of So Far Gone. And I think this was a solid body of work to say this is what he presented to the world for the world to get to know him. this was his earliest body of work, so you could tell he was still developing his sound and where he wanted to go with his craft. But the replay value on this album is also impeccable in my eyes. I can still pop that in and ride to this album today. So that's the top 4. Number 5, Certified Lover Boy, which just dropped this year. I love this album. I know right now we in the latter parts of Drake. I felt like with this album, the features were great. I do love the fact that he incorporated OG Ron C, because I'm from Texas, from Port Arthur, Texas, but I'm still a Houstonian as well, and I love the F Action series. So when I heard that, I just got beside myself, because I felt like that was one of the dopest things that he could have done. We always know Drake show love to Houston, so I felt like that was dope. But I felt like with this album, he wanted the sound to stay relevant to what the sound of the music is today, and I think he embodied that. Good club songs as usual, so that's why I chose that at number 5. Number 6, Views. Not his greatest work, not necessarily 100% trash. Don't really have a lot of replay value, but there's certain songs on there that I do like, and Child's Play in particular is one of my favorite songs from that album. I could dissect this album from front to back, but I won't do that on this segment. I felt like with this body of work, Drake was kind of in the middle of being great, and then kind of showing us that he can be a little rusty. But it's still a great album, so I will give him that. Number 7, Scorpion, pretty much the same thing as Views. Got a few club bangers on there that I like. It's not a front to back album. I don't know what Drake was on this album. Like I said, it's not 100% trash, but it's not something that I would recommend if somebody wanted to hear Drake for the first time. This is not the first album that I would go with to tell them to listen to. And the last album is that More Life, and I'm sorry. I know a lot of people can agree that this probably is Drake's worst album. I don't know what was going on. I don't know where Drake was going with it. There's a couple songs on it that I do like, but I definitely did not, enjoy this album the way I enjoyed other Drake albums. This particular album was one of those albums where you popped it in, you listened to it, and you tried to give it a chance after chance, but you just like, nah, this shit ain't hitting like that. That's what this album was about. I understand, he was paying homage to his father on the album cover and things like that. That's great. But as far as the music, I don't know where you was going with it, Drizzy. No offense, but I mean, hey, that's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's my ranking of the Drake albums. You know what I'm saying? I could be long-winded, but I don't want to be, because this is supposed to be a short segment every Tuesday, and I want to keep it short. But how do you feel? What's your ranking on the Drake albums? Subscribe to this channel. Drop your rankings in the comments. I will read them. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And we want you guys to tune in every Tuesday. Like I said, we coming with a whole lot of stuff. Shout out to my homegirl Kelly. Play the Boombox. Don't Piss Me Off podcast. Hard to Swallow podcast. It's your boy Mike Bundy, and I'm out. Peace.